On CNB this week, an exclusive variant of the Volvo XC90. The Ford Mustang is finally here in India. We drive it at the BIC. And it's a new model from Hero after a long time, the Splendor iSmart 110. So a very warm welcome to a brand new episode of CNB. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Partnkar, and you're wondering why we have the XC90 here with us. Well, the car has certainly been making waves everywhere in the world ever since it first debuted last year, but now you have a new variant that's driving in, and you know what? India is one of the few markets to get it, which is why we are so excited about it. The XC90 is the car that defines the big change at Volvo. Ever since its launch in 2014, this car has got heads turning. It sits on Volvo's new scalable product architecture, has a slew of safety and driver assistance systems, and looks like $1 million. It's also paving the way for future models, starting with this year's S90. I have driven the XC90 extensively, and right from my first drive in Barcelona almost 2 years ago, I've tested almost every engine derivative on offer globally, though in India we get just the 2-litre diesel. But now Volvo is set to launch the range-topping T8 twin-engine or petrol hybrid XC90 in India. The car's chassis was always designed to take on electric powertrains. The 2-litre turbocharged and supercharged direct injection petrol engine powers the front wheels and uses the standard 8-speed auto gearbox. A 9.2 kWh lithium-ion battery sits in the central tunnel and supplies power to the electric motor that sits on the rear axle. More details on how that hybrid system works on CNB Bazaar Buzz on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Now the system moves effortlessly between the electric motor and the engine, and you don't even get to know really. In fact, at times when you're coasting along on a highway or even when you're pottering about in city traffic at lower speeds, you can't really hear the engine anyway, and so you can't really tell what's going on until you look at the screen here. And it's nice and non-obtrusive. It's not in-your-face hybrid system. I like that. A control unit in the engine bay synchronizes the two power sources and gives you efficient and smooth performance. It also regulates the all-wheel drive when it's required, or if you put the car in all-wheel mode. Well, when you want it, you can really get it to go, and I think that's the whole point, because Volvo isn't going to try and compete with the V6 or the V8 motors, but the combined power that the electric motor and the 4-cylinder gives you is actually not bad. The car is smooth, and while it does not have sports car performance, it certainly gets going thanks to the 400 bhp of combined power that you get. Put the car in pure mode and you can drive just over 40 kilometers on just electric power. Overall, the drive is very smooth, and the transmission works very well even when you're in pure electric mode. You get the right amount of torque at the right time, because remember, with an electric motor, torque is readily available, and the gearbox responds well to that, so it's nicely married. It carries all that torque through pretty effectively. The T8 can do 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.9 seconds, by the way. After all, just the petrol engine by itself does have 318 horses on it, giving you that instant burst of power. The car also has pilot assist, lane change assist and adaptive cruise control on board, and yes, all of these features are now going to be available in India too. Now you've seen the stock footage of the white car, but the one I really drove was this baby in blue. Now, of course, I don't have to tell you about the XC90's looks. It's already quite the gorgeous car and quite the beauty pageant winner. The good news for me today, I managed to get my hands on the even more gorgeous R design in this beautiful blue. An R design model means you get matte silver exterior mirrors, glossy black front grille and matte finish trim around the grille and windows. 20-inch alloys with low-profile tires, full LED headlamps and yes, exclusive colors like that bursting blue that I drove and this passion red. Inside the R Design XC90's cabin, it's the familiar layout but with extra sporty elements. The R Design branded leather seats, a leather steering wheel and the crystal finish gear lever. The car's Sensus infotainment touchscreen system steals the show and the interior trim is impeccably finished. But if that was not fancy enough for you, Volvo is also bringing in the Excellence trim option to India with the T8 twin-engine model. The Excellence trim is not on offer in all markets and in India you can opt for the hybrid in its 7-seater Inscription Avatar 2. But take a look now at how premium the Excellence is. So back here it's the lap of luxury, that's what Volvo is going for. The big highlight, you have individual seats, captain seats as some people like to call them, but this goes much further. They're very comfortable, they can be reclined and of course adjusted electrically. Great for long drives. They can also be activated to give you the massage function. So yes, it's like the S-Class in a sense. And this little screen that I popped up also has all, besides the seat adjustment options, it's a touch screen that also lets you switch on the heated or ventilated seat option depending on whether it's cold or warm. So that's a nice little touch. In here is the other business class feature. You got the pop-out table that lets you work with your laptop or indeed enjoy a little bit of a meal. Some storage and lots of connectivity options for your phone, USB, charging point for the laptop, etc. Here is where you have another little goodie that sits below this Bars & Wilkins speaker. Yes, it's a refrigerator and yes, these are specially designed champagne flutes without the base, which kind of fit into these specially designed, I can't call them cup holders, so flute holders, and 2 bottles of champagne. I just have one in there right now. It's nice and chilled. Tempting to pop it open, but I won't. So nice touch again for you to be able to enjoy your favorite drinks. It doesn't have to be champagne. You can of course put other things in there, and the glasses stay in here as well, because when it's champagne the glasses need to be nicely cooled, don't they? The car's cabin is also shut off from the cargo area by this glass partition, which helps keep it quieter. Now the lap of luxury will cost you because this particular version it will be about 1 crore 20 lakh rupees, yeah, thereabouts. So it will compete in that really premium set with the SUVs, and you can of course opt for the 7-seater version of the T8 petrol as well. And there are 2 versions of the interior. There's the black that you can see around me and of course the beige as well. So it's Volvo's first hybrid car that comes into India, and it certainly is something we welcome because there's been so much talk of late about emissions, diesel engines, and remember even the diesels with Volvo are 4-cylinder engines that sit below the 2-liter mark. So that's been pretty much the strategy from the Swedish car maker. Now we move on and talk about that mighty Ford Mustang. We reviewed it for you of course a few weeks ago, so you already have all the details in terms of how the car performs and what the mechanicals are all about. But the Indian version is here now. That is a right-hand drive, and what better place to test it than the BIC, the Buddha International Circuit. Ameya Naik drove the car.
It's taken 52 years to come to India, and by that time it already has a huge fan following here. Well, after having sold 9.2 million units across the globe, it's finally in India. And look at it, it's absolutely gorgeous. The 6th generation of the Mustang is here.
Ford has already had success with this generation of the Mustang, as it managed to sell more than 110,000 units worldwide in 2015. And that number is rapidly growing. But moving the steering from one side to the other isn't enough, and Ford has had to work hard to make things exciting and take it to the next level, without compromising on the essence that is the Mustang. We already brought you our exclusive review of the Mustang GT a few weeks ago, and so you know mostly everything there is to know. The car is made with a mix of high-strength steel pressings. The ultra-high-strength castings and forgings and the steel tube are all laser welded. The underbody is now 28% more rigid than its predecessor. And this shines true when we took it to the track at the Budh International Circuit. With fully independent front and rear suspension system, this is probably the most nimble Mustang ever made. It's got the power too, as under the hood is a 5-litre V8 that makes 395 bhp. The output is downgraded for India due to available fuel quality. The US model makes 435 horses and 515 Nm of torque. So push the throttle and the pony car hesitates a bit, but the delay in power is minimal, as the 515 Nm of torque kicks in. The car features 4 selectable driving modes: normal, sport plus, track and snow or wet. What these settings do is adjust the car's throttle, steering and stability control. There are also 3 modes of steering resistance which can be adjusted for acquiring the desired feedback. On the inside, the cabin boasts features like dual zone climate control, an 8-inch touchscreen with Sync 2, keyless entry, a push-button start and the My Key, which allows parents to limit top speed, audio system volume and set limits to prevent disabling of driver assist features. The dash is well laid out and the toggle switches just below the center console are a brilliant touch. On the safety front, the Mustang comes with 8 airbags, along with a knee airbag situated in the glove box. There are crash sensors all around the car which help deploy the airbags, and of course there are seatbelt pretensioners. Priced at 65 lakh rupees, the Mustang will come to India as a CBU unit, straight from the Flat Rock, Michigan assembly plant in the US. Bookings for the car have already started in Mumbai and Delhi. The phase-wise bookings will see other cities getting the car soon. Honestly, we feel the car is overpriced. Yes, our duty structure doesn't help, and Ford will still probably sell out its limited allocation of units for India anyway. But a car like the Mustang was never built to be a pricey and premium car, but an accessible muscle car. And it's sad to see that positioning getting diluted. But do we still love it? Yes. And are we glad it's finally in India? Most definitely.
Now let's move on to a talk about a new bike. It's been a while since Hero brought a new product to the market, and it's been working hard to bring us its first indigenous motorcycle. Why do I say indigenous? Because, well, it's the first one that's been completely independently developed outside of its relationship with Honda in any way. It's the new 110cc Splendor with the iSmart i3S technology. Here's our first ride impression.
Hero became one of the biggest two-wheeler manufacturers in the world on the back of this brand, Splendor. The Splendor family is very much the backbone of the massive volumes Hero enjoys. And so, as is routine, we are getting a new Splendor. But this time there is one major difference.
Now the Hero Splendor iSmart 110 is the first ever motorcycle developed by Hero at its CIT center in Jaipur, Rajasthan. Now the Splendor has been setting the sales chart on fire for the longest possible time, and we are really excited to swing a leg over it and get it going.
Even though this is a new bike, the overall look is familiar and very much at home in the Splendor stable. But rest assured, there are changes too. Hero says the bike carries a new chassis, new frame and a new engine.
Now the two most significant changes to the Hero Splendor iSmart 110 are the engine and the frame. The head of the engine now is pointing skyward rather than lying parallel to the ground. This results in better power delivery and better fuel efficiency as well. Also, Hero has put in a twin spar frame rather than a single down tube cradle, which aids in rigidity and offers better handling.
The double cradle frame had already made an appearance in other Splendor family bikes. And so it's good to see the new 110 also sporting it. There is a sporty appeal to the iSmart 110 with its dual-toned color scheme. Our test bike is draped in black with blue decals running along the profile of the motorcycle, the front mudguard and the front fairing on the headlamp. Then there is the sporty looking tail with its split grab rails. The headlamp design is new as well and looks sharper. The looks of the motorcycle will definitely appeal to the target audience. The 110cc engine on the Splendor produces 9.4 bhp and 9 Nm of torque. And it offers decent rideability. The USP is the i3S technology, which shuts off the engine after a 10-second spell in neutral. Similar to what you saw on the 100cc iSmart. All one needs to do is twist the throttle a bit to get the engine started. Hero says that it has tuned the engine to spread the torque across a wider band. With a dry weight of 115 kgs, it is light and easy to flick around even on traffic-heavy roads. The claimed efficiency for this Splendor iSmart 110 is 68 km per litre. The suspension is comfortable and qualifies as a capable commuter. It's a quick first ride impression on the new Splendor iSmart 110, and our takeaway is that Hero has done a good job with it. Expect the Splendor iSmart 110 to continue to bring volumes into Hero's fold. The bike is priced at 53,300 rupees ex-showroom Delhi.
And just like that, it's a wrap on CNB. Please react to what you've seen on the program. You got the new bike, you had the new Mustang, and of course, the exclusive from Volvo. The new XC90, of course, is going to be here very soon. And there's so much talk about petrol or hybrid versions now that customers are looking for, especially in the premium market. So I guess Volvo gets a bit of a lead on some of the others there. There is, of course, talk about the X5 and the Q7 also driving in with petrol variants, but possibly no hybrids just yet from those two. With that, it's a wrap. I will see you next week. Please wear your seatbelts. Please wear your helmets if you're on a two-wheeler.